Welcome back. Now to a chat I had with Representative Daniel Reneju, who is a member of the House Committee on Appropriation and is also serving his third term as a member of the House of Representatives. He starts with his reaction to the ongoing controversy.
The issue here is just some few people thinking they are super legislators by virtue of the positions that they are in the leadership cadre of the House. You cannot always tell me that, oh, this is the precedence, this is how it's been done. That it's been done that way does not make it right. How do you expect a parliamentarian of equal status with you, or even your junior in parliament, having a 1.3 billion as constituency projects, and then you're having 100 million? Because you are in leadership. And so what? Even if we have to concede without giving it, does it mean that you must have that wide gap of close to about 100% higher than your fellow parliamentarians? The answer is no. So I call that pathological greed on the part of most of our leaders. And that is what is causing the uproar, because this issue started long before Abdul Mini was even removed. And what happened? A few legislators in an executive session actually came up and said, look, how come we're supposed to have a 60 billion? How come we are having 40? Where is the other 20? And somebody said, oh, it used to be this way. Did you invite the new members to educate them that you are going to be keeping 20 billion to yourself to share amongst the 10 of you for them to concur? The answer is no. But they're smart. So they're aware and they're not happy. Okay, for example, if you come from a constituency or from the same senatorial district with somebody who is a principal officer, how do you go back to your people and say, oh, I came with 100 million and somebody has about 2 billion? How will you be seen? So they are encouraging you to either go ahead and start lobbying. I wouldn't say steal. I don't want to use that language. I wouldn't say, because this is parliamentary, another way of actually taking what does not actually belongs to you. And when you take what does not belong to you, because you have the powers to do that, I leave it to you. Give it a name.
Yeah, but your members, some of your members says, if you get away with it, that means it's okay once the budget is passed.
It doesn't make it right. And the day you are caught, what happens? Even if the law does not expressly say that, oh, pardon is not even known to our law, is blind to our law. What about the moral aspect? Don't we have morals? Are you telling me that we are all completely deficient of high morality, which we should have as parliamentarians? Like I said, one of the criteria of being a solid parliament is to be transparent and morally just. Are these things that we're doing really morally just? We should ask ourselves, what is law? Law is built on morality. So if that thing is wrong, it's wrong.
How do we resolve it? Because right now there's also that issue of whether is this something that should be resolved internally?
Well, internal way of solving problems, yes, we have the mechanism, whether we like it or not. It's true, we have an internal mechanism of actually resolving some of these issues. But the moment it gets out of hand, whether you like it or not, if I say this is a crime, I have the powers to say, no, I have the right to transport my rights to the agencies that are relevant to such allegations to investigate it. The House cannot punish me for that. The House cannot punish me for that. Because I believe strongly that the House would have handled this issue more decently. I'll give you an instance. I can't remember the day vividly where the whole problem started and where I sensed it coming. The day we debated the issue of immunity clauses for presiding officers. I was in the chambers, and I think you guys were in the chambers. When Abdul Mini, whether he came with the placards, whether he came in the, whether you like it or in parliament, some certain excesses are, permitted. He came with a placard. Well, to me, I would say that was unparliamentary, but It's allowed. In America, there's what you call filibustering. You talk the way you like. You can even talk for 3 hours. And people will say, you're saying, no, that's filibustering. He wasn't doing anything very untoward towards the ethics of the House. But what happened? Members were shouting, Ole, 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 on their colleague. And the presiding officer kept quiet. And some principal officers, they were laughing. And I stood up and I told some presiding officers, I said, you are getting it wrong. And immediately I left there. I called 1 or 2 of them to my office. And I advised them that the way they are handling this issue is going to consume the integrity, the remaining integrity of this House. Unfortunately, I wasn't in chambers the day Abdulmuni was relieved of his position. But I saw it coming, and I forewarned. A presiding officer should not have tolerated such foul language, unparliamentary language, calling a fellow member Ole. For what? That he was appropriation committee chairman. Abdulmuni is not my friend. I don't know his office. I doubt if he even knows my office too. But I'm a member of the appropriation committee. And I'll tell you something, that Abdulmuni couldn't have done all what he did without the express connivance or permission of the executive, of the leadership.
They're denying that.
And the leadership too either wouldn't have been able to put those monies in the appropriation budget or appropriation in the budget without Abdulmuni's connivance or express approval. So it takes 2 to tango in this. So if you're calling Abdulmuni Ole, 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 what did you have in the budget as a leader? What did you get? And how did you get it in there?
Nigerians are actually more interested now. How do we resolve this? A situation where our national budget appears to be left in the hands of a few to share and divide.
I'll come back to the point which you asked much earlier. I'm a member of the appropriation. And I'm not going to quote Constitution, I'm not going to quote all that because all relevant sections of the Constitution have been quoted in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go straight to realities, what actually happened and how it happened. I'm a member of the Appropriation Committee, and coincidentally, I sub-chaired 6 committees during the appropriation period. I was sub-chairman, petroleum upstream, downstream, gas, NDDC, Niger Delta Ministry, local content.
What you're saying now is that the committee worked together.
They worked together with the subcommittee. We worked together.
Not that what we've been hearing is that he worked alone.
It is not completely true. Let any member of the appropriation committee come to tell me that they didn't witness at least 80% of the hearing of the standing committee's defense of the budget in the appropriation committee. We all did. We were all there. I witnessed others. Though I shared 6, the entire 6 never had their budget at the same time. Like the NDDC, the budget wouldn't come as at when others came. But I witnessed that of local content, and members were there. They sat there. They were all there.
So because what we understand from the House of Reps is that the members of the Appropriation Committee were the first to raise the alarm that the chairman or the former chairman, Abdulmuni, was working alone.
To the extent that I'm explaining now, it is not true. And I'll tell you now what happened, what transpired thereafter. After the entire presentations, because there was no time, the instruction to standing committee chairman was to always meet and synergize with their Senate counterpart, so that whatever you are presenting is what the Senate counterpart will also be presenting. To save time, because we had no time for the budget. And that is one point I'm going to come to when it comes to recommendation of the budget for budget processes. We met, and the first question the man will ask, appropriation committee subcommittee chair, who is a member of the appropriation, are you okay? You said yes. Chairman, committee A, have you met with your Senate counterpart? Have you harmonized? Are you submitting the same budget? He will say yes. If he says no, he gives his reasons, and we note it.